Hi, my name is Kevin Stadlbauer, and I will be performing the air squat today. So we're going to go ahead and start with a warm-up. We're going to do high knees, get our joints moving and get the blood flowing to our legs so that we don't injure ourselves when we do the air squat. Okay, let's go ahead and do butt kicks, nice and slow. Again, just warming up. Hopefully you're all feeling okay, feeling good. Good. Okay, now we'll just kind of jog in place, get our heart going, blood moving. Good. Feel relaxed, feel nice and loose. Kick it out. Good. Let's do some karate kicks. Yeah, kick it out. Good. Alright, now we'll do some just mini jumps. Alright, so the air squat, very important movement. What we like to teach this first in all of our lifts, we find this movement popping up. So we want to teach it right at the beginning and make sure that you're comfortable with the movement. So with the air squat, what it is we're going to use our legs, our core, our knees, and our hips to perform this movement. And what we want to first address is where do we need to place our feet. And all it is shoulder width apart. Or a little bit outside. It should be comfortable. We shouldn't be way out here. We shouldn't be too narrow. It should be a nice athletic stance so that when we perform it, we're in a movable and stable position. So next thing we want to address is how to position our feet. Our feet should be not straight, but 30 degrees. Just turn slightly out 30 degrees. Perfect. Yep, good. Next point that we want to address is how we initiate the squat. We definitely do not want to initiate by bending our knees first. What that does is it brings our weight forward, it throws off our balance, and then I like to tell people if you were to put 300 pounds on your back, and if you did that, you would just collapse. So in order to get the proper strength and the proper muscles involved in the air squat, we get that stable position, 30 degrees outside, and we start with our hips. So we send our hips back. And we do that by kind of just poking our butt out. That's our first movement. So, and what that will do is that will engage our core, our back, our core, and then as you all can see, there's a curvature right here that we want to engage. It's the lordotic curve. It's the natural curve of our spine. So when we send our hips back, we have that curve, right? And sending our hips back, I keep that curve. We don't want to get turtle backed. We don't want to poke our back out or anything. So we go down, we keep that curve, we're sending our hips back, and we're keeping our weights on our heels. So go ahead and so your stance is perfect. Let's just do a little bit of a squat, sending our hips back. Perfect, okay? Good. Now as we go down in the squat, we want to keep that lordotic curve. We're going to sit back, and then we're just going to squat all the way down. Next point of performance that I want to talk about is where do we have our knees? When people squat, or when we squat, some of us have a tendency to keep our knees in. Maybe just a comfortable way, or that's how we sit. What we like to do is we want to engage our muscles on the sides of our legs, and we do that by keeping our knees out. And when that's why we have that 30-degree angle. We want to track our knees right over our toes. We don't want to go over our toes. We want to keep our knees right in line with our toes. And so when we go down, we're keeping our knees out. We're keeping our hips neutral and going straight down and with that lordotic curve. So go ahead and do a squat, and I'll come around and make sure that you're doing the right things. Keeping your weight back on your heels. Good. Good. Perfect. Good adjustment. Awesome. Okay, so you can go ahead and come back up. Perfect. So as you come back up, you want to keep that lordotic curve. You want to keep your core engaged. You're going to come down and come back and come up. Everything nice and aligned, keeping your back neutral. You don't need to crank your neck. You don't need to do anything like that. Just nice and neutral. You should be relaxing your shoulders. You keep your hands out for balance if you'd like. Come down and come back up. So the last thing that we want to talk about is the depth. The depth of our squat should be, the crease of our hip should be past the crest of our knee. So when I go down, we'll go down, knees are out again, toes are 30 degrees, my weight is back on my heels, and that crease of my hip is parallel, if not just past, below the crest of my knee. My hands are out, and so we don't want to go too far down. When we go too far down, we lose our core strength. We're not engaged here, and that's what we call a lazy man squat. It's a catcher stance. It's comfortable, but it's not where we want you to squat. We want you to squat as if you had 400 pounds, 500 pounds on your back, and that's with everything you got engaged and tight. So go ahead and squat to the depth that you were, and I'll let you know that the depth is correct. Good. Make sure you wiggle your toes. Try and wiggle your toes. Good. See how that moved you back? Come on back up. Good. And now for you, it seems that you may want to try that. I like to help people with the depth of their squat and making sure that they are using the right muscles and sending their hips back. So I like to use a chair or something that will help them to send their hips back, especially if they're more prone to being on their toes, is to send their hips back by putting something there so that they feel like they won't fall or lose their balance. So go ahead and try that by using the chair, tapping on it as if I were to use it. Just kind of tap it and keeping your knees out. Okay, go ahead and when you go back, wiggle your toes. Wiggle your toes as you go back. Good. And then go ahead and try and track your knees out over your toes. Good. You go ahead and do about 5 of these. Go ahead and do 5. Good. Good. Now as you get more and more comfortable with the air squat, your depth will get lower, your muscles will adjust and get stronger, and you'll be able to put weight on your back. You'll be able to do a front squat with a front rack position, a back squat, and many other lifts. So good job. That's all it is for today. Thank you for allowing me to coach you all in the air squat.